Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Denise Lonis of the Lonis Group.
And I'm Shauna Knapp of the Lonis Group, and we're here today to talk about our highly effective LeadMagnet program and what it can do to propel your business forward. Marketing is at the heart of what we do, and we believe that every agent can benefit from having their expertise and experience shared with a targeted audience. LeadMagnet really is the solution to many of the challenges that real estate agents face, from keeping their pipeline filled to creating a more steady stream of income. LeadMagnet was created because agents aren't graphic designers. They may know their markets, but they don't really have time to dig into the data and tell the story of what is really happening in their markets each month. And they're not marketing professionals who know how to personality proof their content so it appeals to everyone, from every generation and every personality type.
In order to cultivate relationships with a new group of people, such as a farm, or for you to get connected to a group of people, you need to have a campaign. If people don't know you, they need to get to know you through a campaign. I want to take a moment to explain my 36-point system. The 36-point system is a system I use to develop relationships over time. And I use that using a point system for value of connection. So for example, here's a great example. If I called somebody that obviously had a higher point value than if I just sent out an email, and I'll give you more details about that in a second. But in real estate, if you really think about the business, you always have three types of clients at any given time. You have potential clients, you have current clients, and you have past clients. The challenge is, for most agents, once the transaction is over, those past clients move on and they're often neglected and forgotten. Also, potential clients get neglected and forgotten if you're too busy working with your current clients. So that's why it's so important to cultivate these relationships, all of them using the 36-point system. The 36-point system actually is extremely successful when you're geographically farming. I would not do a farm if I was not implementing the 36-point system for success.
So now let's look at a couple of ways to get to that 36 points per year. And let's assume you've got a database of 150. And let's say, hey, I want to go ahead and use my time. I don't want to use my money. I'm going to call everybody in my database every single month. Remember, that's a 3-point activity, and you're going to be doing it 12 times per year. Let's see what that looks like.
That's exhausting.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
do you want to do that?
No, and the reality is, in this business, you're not going to. Could you imagine if you, and just think about it from the buyer or seller or potential client point of view, nobody wants to be called every single month to be hounded to do something in real estate.
Right.
You got to stay top of mind by being in the right place at the right time, sending really good data and information, being that kind of reporter in real estate, being the expert. But to just get on the phone and call someone and keep hounding them, it feels too strong-armed. It feels like that old-fashioned cold calling sales technique that for most people, most agents are not going to be able to do it, and most clients are not real receptive to it. I know in my busy world, if anybody called me every single month consistently, if I was in the market to do anything, buy a house, buy a car, it would be overwhelming. So it's too much. So you can't just create a 36-point system and go, okay, I'll use phone calls. You also have to think about what are you more likely to do. And if you got to be honest with yourself. I know that for me, when I create a 36-point system, I don't have the time to be calling all those clients. I would much rather, if I'm going to place a call, maybe place a call around something I've done special for them, where I might say, hey, I'm just leaving a quick message. Want to let you know I've done an annual client report for you. It'll be to your doorstep in a couple of days. That's a more authentic, natural way.
Yeah, I don't know. I did the math on this, and oh my gosh, I think it's 150 phone calls a month, 35 a week.
That's
1,800 a year.
It's not realistic.
That's not scalable. Oh my gosh.
It's not realistic. It's not scalable. And you also have to surrender to honesty. Be honest about what you will and will not do. And if you know you're not going to sit and make those phone calls, there's a better way. LeadMagnet is a better way. It's a way that helps you to create that campaign and to have it work around your work life. Because also, what if you get really busy? You don't want to start a campaign and then stop it. You don't want to start phone calls and all of a sudden you disappear. So you have to be very careful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at another example. Now let's assume we're going to email. Remember, that's a 1-point activity. And let's say you're going to do it 3 times a month. You're going to get to 36 emails a year. Okay, that's easy. It's free. But let's take a look at what that looks like.
Yeah, that's exhausting.
Well, it's not only exhausting. I mean, yeah, you're having to come up with 36 content pieces per year, but also how many of those get deleted?
Well, first of all, this is the problem. You have to be very, very careful with email, because what happens is when your emails go out and they're just, pretty generic, fluffy stuff, what happens is people learn, oh, Denise is sending out a fluffy email. Oh, it's another one of those pieces again. And email is about, for people today, email is like whack-a-mole. You get one, you get rid of it, you get another one, they pop up. So you got to be careful. If you send an email, it needs to be custom.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something very specific. It needs to be something that that person is wanting from you, or that's really relevant. If you're just, getting to your office or your home office and saying, oh, I got to send another email to this person, they become too fluffy and they get deleted. It's not effective.
I mean, all you really have for a visual memory marker in so many of those occasions is the subject line, because those are getting deleted or they're getting caught up in spam and they never even see them.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's look at another example.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's try this one. It's a little bit more custom. Let's say you're gonna do 6 calls, so not 12, and you're gonna do an event and you're gonna do a report. Okay, but what month are you doing what? I mean, this is like really, it's just confusing.
Well, it's too much thinking, right? So what happens is that you have to have a campaign that works around the reality of real estate. The reality of real estate is we are in a business that it's kind of like it's start and stop, right? You're like a fireman, you're putting out fires all the time, or you're a janitor, you're cleaning up messes all the time, or you're a counselor, you're helping your clients through some difficult things. And what happens is you need to be free and clear to do that. And if all of a sudden you're like, oh boy, I got to make these calls, I got to do this. And what I know about most agents that I have worked with over the years, and I have worked with thousands of agents, is that they need something that's simple. They need something that's autopilot and not something that they have to overthink. It needs to be part of the DNA of your business. Very simple, very simplified, and something that allows you to be free to go do what you should be doing, which is being an amazing agent, having amazing, communication and relationships with those clients during transactions, after transactions, before transactions. But if you're thinking too much about your campaigns, it's not going to be effective.
Yeah, and this is still 900 calls a year. And that's with a database of 150. It's not scalable. You're not going to be able to, if you get to 300, I mean, my gosh, that's just too much. Wow. And we haven't even touched on the fact that these 3 databases or these 3 campaigns that we've just talked about are really, they're more for your past clients. They're not for people that you don't know, because somebody that you don't know is not going to want to receive a phone call from you. And you're not going to necessarily have that relationship to do some of those components. So let's look at another campaign using strictly mail. Okay, so now look at this. Look at the simplicity of this. You could have 100 people in your database. You could have 500. You could have thousands of people in your database, and it's the same amount of work every single month. All you're having to do is create a single piece, or in the case of LeadMagnet, you're having somebody else do that. But it just goes out. It goes out, and you're touching all of those people with a really high quality piece.
Now I want to talk about why I started geographical farming, how I started it, how successful it was, and I just want to tell you a little story. So I started real estate when I was very young. I was in my 20s. I was competing against agents that were twice my age, had twice the experience, and I was scared. I was not making the money I needed to make. So what I decided to do is I decided that I needed to become an expert in a particular area, and then I needed to share that expertise and what I knew about that area on a very consistent basis. So I started a geographical farm. I took my success system I'd had in my previous business, the 36-point system, and I said, how can I utilize this in real estate? So I picked a geographical farming area, and I said, okay, I'm going to learn everything I need to know about that. I'm going to send them really good real estate related information and data and stats. I thought about who might live in the area that I was sending this information to. I thought about different personality types. And what I ended up doing is I put together a geographical farm and I mailed to them every single month. Why it was so successful is because I wasn't mailing out fluffy information. I was sending them information about what was going on in their area, any zoning changes, anything that, all the numbers off of the MLS that I was sending to them, anything that was relevant and that was important for them to know as an owner in the property in that area. Why it was successful is because it was done every single month consistently. Also, it was branded to me. It had my own look and feel. Yes, I had my company information, but when you saw that marketing piece come in, you knew that I was that local area expert. Why LeadMagnet is so successful is it helps you to become that area expert. And you want that constant reminder to those homeowners that are living there that you know the area, you work the area, you research the area, you follow updates on the area, you share information. So what you do is you become a person that's giving them really good data and information, and you over time become top of mind. That's the key to any great successful marketing campaign. And that's why we then created LeadMagnet for the agents that we work with, because we wanted them to be able to have the same predictable, this is extremely important, you want predictable success and result. Now, it's not easy, there's a formula to it. That's why we do it for our agents, because they're not marketing experts. As Shauna said, they're not graphic artists. That's not, go and do what you do best, but have a team, our team that works with you to help you become that dominant expert in the area. LeadMagnet is an incredibly successful program when we utilize that with the 36-point system. So now I want to explain why LeadMagnet has been so successful for our agents. It's very simple. The only thing you have to do is review the proof that we send to you. And then all you have to do is let us know if there are any address changes in your database. But now let me talk about what we do. First of all, we research everything for you. We research the MLS. We determine what stats are needed. We want to tell the very, very best story that we can of what's happening in the market and what's happened the previous month. We also then extract all those stats and we format them into beautiful infographics. Also, whatever is needed to help you stand out is part of what we do. We also then review current inventory, pendings, recent solds. We look at anything that could be newsworthy in the market. We then also, and this is extremely important, we create the attention-grabbing headlines that helps people to look at that piece and go, okay, I need to read more. We also create all the written content, anything that goes in that mailer, we create it. We then format all of the graphics. We also then add to it particular post-it notes, doodles, ribbons, graphics, whatever is needed to make you stand out. You have to have that partnership of a great attention-grabbing headline, but you also need a call to action, and that's extremely important. We then make sure all of the post office requirements are adhered to. We send this print-ready PDF of the mailer directly to the printer. We work with the printer on any technical issues, and you don't do anything other than review the proof and just say, hey, I love it, or there might be a change. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about one of our clients that prior to working with us, and she had been farming already. She had started her farming campaign in early 2021. She'd been mailing quarterly to her farm, and she was not really doing anything pretty compelling. Her infographics were pretty basic, and as a result, her farm area just wasn't producing. Her then question becomes, do I stop this farm area, or is it the farm, or is it me and my mailings? So we then created a new lead generation formula for her, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her results through Shauna.
So in 2019, she had 7 total sales. 6 of them were buyers, 1 of them was a seller. She had 2 transactions from past clients, 2 from her database, 1 from open a house, 2 online. Her farm was 0% of her business. Let's fast forward now to 2021. She had 14 total sales, 4 buyers, 10 sellers, 2 referrals, 5 past clients, 1 database, 6 in her farm. That farm was 42.9% of her total business units and 48.5% of her income in 2 years.
In terms of her earnings, which is the bottom line, she increased her gross commission income 144% between 2019 and 2021. And the only difference she made is she changed what she was doing with her mailers. The next client I want to talk about is a client that fought us for years on developing a monthly campaign. She just didn't really think it was going to be effective for her. Before her farm campaign, she would mail out just listed cards, so when she got a listing, she kind of felt that she was sending out stuff to her farm area, but it was more self-serving, right? It was more like, hey, look at me, I got a listing. She was spending a lot buying online leads, but those online leads were not converting the way she needed to. She then began a strategic mailing campaign with us 5 years ago. She's now looking to add additional campaigns, and her success is epic.
So let's take a look at 2017, before she really ramped up her farm. She had 22 total sales, not bad. 12 buyers, 10 sellers, 8 referrals, 6 past clients, 1 database, 1 open house, 5 online buyers that she chased for months. Farm, 0% of her total business. Let's fast forward again to 2021. She had 31 total sales that year, 6 buyers, 25 sellers, 4 referrals, 8 past clients, 8 farm, 5 online, 6 other, and her farm was 25.8% of her total business units and 38.1% of her income.
And this is incredible because she was working so many hours. So it's not just about money, it's about scaling your business so that you can earn more money and take less time. And if you have 25 buyers versus 25 sellers, I can guarantee you 25 buyers is going to take 3 times as long. So now she's listing properties and she's in way more control of her business in her life. Another example is a client that we have been helping stay consistent with her Sphere database campaign for almost 10 years. She recently shared that other than her mailers, she has had no communication with these past clients for almost that long. She is completely reliant on her campaigns. She was recently contacted by a past client for a real estate transaction, which, when all was said and done, was actually 6 transactions, over $200,000. Not bad for not having to do more than approve a proof every month.
So what does LeadMagnet include? Well, to begin with, we're going to have a strategy call with you to talk about your objectives, your audience, your targeted market, so we can get to understand what you need to bring to the table in terms of that content each month and in terms of that visual piece. Next up, we're going to create your market domination media. These are the basic templates that we're going to be working from each month as we compile your content and we tell your market story. And then it's complete campaign management. We're going to be diving into the data. We're going to be looking at the listings. We're going to be looking at the statistics and what is going on in the market each and every month. If you have an idea for something, you're welcome to share it with us. We will collaborate with you all day long. However, you don't have to. It can be completely plug and play. You don't have to do a thing except approve that proof every single month. It's as easy as that. Then we also have a campaign mastermind meeting every single month where we're getting together with other people in the LeadMagnet program and other people that are working on their niche markets. And we're talking about ideas, we're talking about success stories, we're talking about challenges, we're talking about market opportunities, things that you can be doing that are going to build your business even more and create those relationships with the people possibly in a farm area or possibly in a niche market where you're learning how to connect with people. We're going to be sharing lots of ideas every single month with you. You also get a Club Zebra membership, which is valued at over $149 per month. With that, you're going to be getting a weekly group coaching session with Denise called Denise Live. It's full of ideas and inspiration and even content like letters and calculators that you can be using in your business. You also get a once monthly market survival guide that really drills down into all the hot points that you need to be knowing about what's going on in real estate regionally and nationally. And you also get access to our vault, which has got, oh my gosh, tons of content, letters, videos, audio files. My gosh, you can be spending hours and hours in the vault just to get inspiration and tools for your business. It's a great value. In terms of accountability, we also offer that. So if you'd like to have additional tracking of how your income is doing, how your sources of business are producing, how much production your farm is actually doing, all of that is included as well. And then it's about ongoing support. Our amazing team is here to help you keep the prospecting side of your business moving forward and fine-tune your campaign as your needs evolve.
Our goal is simple. We want you to stand out, we want you to be successful, and we want you to dominate in your farm area, period. For most agents, LeadMagnet easily will pay for itself with one transaction, just one. We all know that once that client becomes a past client, referrals are given, and then that one transaction connects you to many other transactions. And once your sign's in the yard in that farm area, your business will follow. With LeadMagnet, you are planting future business seeds every single month. LeadMagnet is absolutely a game changer for any agent that wants to make more money, wants to dominate in their market, and doesn't have the time to play around with solutions that do not work.
So if you're wondering how LeadMagnet can help your business and want to schedule some time to talk to us about your goals, click the link below and let's get started.
LeadMagnet is the best decision you can make for your business. Do not put off this investment for another month. Schedule the appointment, start your campaign strategy. That is going to get your pipeline filled, and come join a group of agents that finally has found the solution that works for their business.